one of life's great mysteries. They spring out of holes in the ground. Yeah. When is that fucking Lord of the Rings show starting? Is there
I don't know, man.
any
in
update
the
on
meantime,
that?
you got to watch The Witcher.
Dude, I was going to
I watched
segue
the
into
first
that too.
episode.
I watched the first 4. Okay, first of all, Kyle's criticism of The Witcher applies to me times 10. What I've done is I pulled up The Witcher, and it's a pro tip for anyone who doesn't have Kyle's like freaking savant level of media recall. I pulled up the Wikipedia page, and after I watch an episode, I read the paragraph on what happened. And sometimes I got it all, and sometimes it was helpful. Like, because the way that he mentioned the time changes is super confusing. And the actors play the same people in both roles. Aging doesn't happen normally amongst these like witches and witchers and stuff. So there aren't the kind of context clues as to whether you're in the past or the future, unless you're really on top of your game. And sometimes I go to the Wikipedia page, reread it, and I'm like, right, I get it now. I'm ready for the next episode. But I am still loving it. I'm only 4 episodes in, and there's 8, so I'm halfway. A little math for you guys. And it's like
Nailed it.
early Game of Thrones production quality. Like, do you remember early Game of Thrones production quality? It was really, really good, but
Could be better.
maybe you wish there was more dragon CGI budget, right?
Like,
Like,
if they zoomed out just a little, the illusion would be shattered. Is that a Buick?
So I'm not going to give anything away, but there's a character who had a curse, and then he got uncursed, and he turned from a being that looked like a hybrid of a person and something else to a regular person. I wasn't going to spoil it, but yeah, he was a hedgehog person, and he becomes a regular person. Cool. Well, that happened off camera. So it's like, it would have been nice if they had the kind of CGI budget to really like reverse werewolf. But still, it looks fantastic. And I feel like I don't often compliment CGI, but it looks so good. It's attention grabbing to me how well done this show is. The fight scenes that Kyle mentioned, agreed. Amazing choreography on this stuff. I'm in love with it. I'm really enjoying The Witcher. I'm enjoying the story. But I also am glad that I use Cliff Notes after each episode.
So I read this thing about The Witcher, and I hope it's not true, but it almost seems like it is. So I think all the writers are women, and so this 4chan little post had pictures of their Twitters, all the ladies, and it's like smash the patriarchy, and and all sorts of stuff like that. And then they pointed out that the Nilf Guardians, okay, these are the bad guys, right? The big army that's invading and stuff. Take a good look at their armor, and you'll never be able to unsee what I'm about to tell you. They are penises with testicles. Their helmets are a penis head, and their armor are shriveled testicle texture.
What are they called again? I'm going to Google it.
The Nilf Guardians, NILF.
That's some fucking ugly armor.
Yeah, Nilf Guardians is one word.
2 thumbs down to that armor. That sucks.
They're penis men.
Yeah, I do see the shape you're describing.
Hold on, people watching. I'm getting you a picture.
Yeah.
They're penis men.
So people are worried about the writers messing up the show? Not an
I think
unreasonable
that they were
worry. It seems
mostly
like
just
eventually-
pointing out that they're almost sort of making a statement with the bad guys being penises, and a lot of the good guys are gals. It seems like there's one major, obviously Geralt of Rivia is, or is it Geralt? Geralt, I think. I don't know. Is the main guy, and he's kind of he is the Witcher. But there's a lot of ladies. I love the show. I like it. I like it a lot.
Would you say too many ladies? I'm not as far in as you. I'm 1 episode in.
Here's my thing. You can never have too many as long as they keep getting naked at this rate. There's a lot of nudity.
When I saw the what I'll call the disabled lady still look banging naked, I'm like, yeah, Kyle was on point with this. Yeah, she fucks, right? She's on top. She's cowgirl, and she's fucking, and she's naked, and I'm just like, I mean, disability or not, 2 thumbs up.
Them titties ain't retarded.
And she like magicked an audience to watch them fuck and applaud when they came. It was so bizarre. At first I was like, why is everyone watching them fuck right now? I thought this was like done in secret. And then they disappear. I'm like, that was That was just some weird kink she had. Okay, all right, Jesus.
Wouldn't that be? Think of how much better fucking would be if you had an audience just cheering you on.
That's
They
why
got
I
your face on their
exclusively
shirt. They
fuck
got a,
on Chatterbait.
they got a big
overrated.
number one finger. Yeah, cheering you on. Yeah,
They're all wearing
I
jerseys
know-
of you.
jerseys of me.
69 on the back.
They wear big foam helmets to.
Yeah, fuck.
That's literally that episode of Rick and Morty, right? You know, where he's like, he fills the stadium with everyone who looks at all like her and everyone who
Oh, yeah.
on the planet who looks like his dad. So his dad's watching him like have this crazy orgy and they're all cheering in the stadium while he fucks.
You know what I liked about, well, just the one episode of The Witcher that I watched was like, I don't even know much about the character or the universe or anything, but Henry Cavill, whatever his name is, Cavill, that guy is so cool.
Yes.
Like he looks dope. He looks awesome in his little outfit and shit. So I'm all on.
They said he was so muscular, he keeps wearing out the costumes.
Really?
Dude, that rules. That guy's awesome.
I like, so he played Superman, and Superman, when you get the role, seems like it's awesome. But then you realize everyone who's ever played Superman, it ended their career, right? Tell me the people who went on to have great post-Superman careers. Even
That
if
guy
they're not
crippled himself on the
paralyzed.
horse.
Yeah. So they asked him, like, hey, are you worried about the Superman curse where it's going to ruin your career? And this is like as he first got the role. And he's like, yeah, a little, it's a thing that's known. But I saw him in The Witcher, and suddenly I am on board with this guy, like not too far from Chris Pratt. You like, I want him to do well. I like him in The Witcher. Man, did they cast him properly? Like he is The Witcher.
how could a
He is
guy
as
like
Witcher as Robert
go ahead,
Downey Jr. is Iron Man. Like he's just
agree.
who should be Witcher. So that's part of why I like it.
I'm hoping to get more of a budget next year because I feel like if I point out some of the CGI shortfalls,
Oh, I might see
it'll
him.
mess it up for others. But that big tarantula monster that he fights in the first 30 seconds of the
Right.
show looked quite terrible to me. And then like the deer that's also in that scene is
Mm.
also CGI, and that looked pretty awful too. And
So I
They
didn't
need more money.
catch what you saw, but so I will. I almost want to rewatch it and see if I agree. But I'll say this: we're not talking Walking Dead deer. With that, like
no.
It passed my test. You know.
Yeah, I just want it to be a little better.
The Witcher starts fast. It hits the ground running, and I wasn't prepared for that. Like in the opening 30 seconds, he's already battling a notable monster.
Mid battle is where the show starts. Like the show begins and he's mid battle with a giant swamp tarantula man.
Yeah,
Or
buckle
something.
up. It's a nice way to kick off the whole series. I might follow it. I was going to say, I can imagine how I might follow it better if I had played the games. Like maybe a little background on the characters or lore or something would have been
Game's
helpful.
beautiful. The game is beautiful. Although here's the thing, and I don't know if this is your type of game. It is an intensive RPG. In my brief experience with it, it was enough to turn me off. And I just wasn't feeling that kind of game right then. I loved Fallout. I've played Skyrim and Oblivion. I ran through all those games, all the Fallouts. And there's a lot of talking in those games, and I'm okay with it. But at this point in my like gaming career, I'm going back 3 years or so, I wasn't wanting to do that right then. I was in more of I wanted to play PUBG or CSGO or something. I
Mhm.
wanted something fast paced and cooperative. And so I picked up The Witcher as soon as I got that 4K monitor that I had then. And I just didn't love it. There was just a lot of talking, and I wanted something more fast paced. But the game is gorgeous. It's one of the best looking open world games I've ever seen. The combat's difficult from what I remember. Maybe I was playing it on a harder difficulty, but you know, he's got like a silver sword and an iron sword or a steel sword, I guess, and one's for monsters and one's for people, and he's got his magic and his potions, and there's alchemy going on, and I don't know. I was getting bogged down by side quests, and I lost interest, but it's a cool fucking game. I probably should go back to it now that I've enjoyed the show. I finished the show. Watched all 8
Damn.
episodes, I believe. Finished it up the other night. There better be a season 2, or we're not going to know much.
Oh, it's not a
that's all I'll
miniseries,
say.
right?
No.
It's-
No,
Okay.
no.
It
No,
has
this is
to be. I
definitely
feel
gonna
like
be-
it's been really well received.
Yeah, everyone's talking about how you know, the IMBD or no, the Rotten Tomatoes or something like that was terrible, and from the critics, and then they found out that the critics literally watched like the first episode then skipped to like the 5th episode, watched that, and then gave a review.
How can you? What?
Yeah,
They're
There's-
professional reviewers. What else are they doing all day?
They
They have to skip the 3.
they've
episodes
been
in a
getting
row?
a lot of shit because of that. There's been a lot of articles written like shitting on them for doing that because the Rotten Tomatoes fan score is like 89, 93, somewhere
Mhm.
in there.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's really digging it, and I feel like it's come at a really good time. If this had came out 2 years ago, like mid Game of Thrones, I don't know about this show. Well, there's not even any dragons. Look at that
Yeah.
dragon, looks like shit. You know, but this is
We're thirsting for this show right now.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
have a big
Yeah.
hole of fantasy in their heart
yeah.
left by
Have
Game
you
of
gotten
Thrones.
to the episode where there may or may not be a dragon yet?
No, they just got married.
Okay.
Yeah, but
What an absurd.
I don't know what's coming.
You like how I did that?
Now, have you gotten to the movie where the ring may or may not be thrown into Mount Doom?
No, they just got married.
You haven't seen the one where Bruce Willis may or may not be dead the whole time, have you?
That's
Check
a
it out.
good movie.
Good ending.
That is a great movie.